Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for waiting. Thank you for joining us at RPGs We Love 3. Next up, we have Laurie D with some more Octopath. Laurie, please tell us all about your upcoming.
So, did you like the Cyrus run? I hope so.
Absolutely.
Because between all these characters, you got to pick one of the other 7 for me to play, and we picked Olberic, which is very surprising to me. Olberic is a very different run than Cyrus, fortunately. One of my favorite runs, my favorite character run in this game is Ophelia. However, her route is actually very similar, so I'm glad it wasn't the winner in the end. Olberic has use of a lot of different skills, a lot of different jobs, and even 2 different characters that we didn't even see in Cyrus's run. On top of strategies that are like very unique to Olberic, it's a very unique run, and I'm very excited that I get to do it, because also, I believe out of all 8 Octopath characters, someone in the community, please fact check me on this if I'm wrong, since the last time I asked this, I believe this is going to be the first marathon run of Olberic's story, which means this is finally going to be all 8 characters single story runs having a marathon run.
Woo!
So,
Huzzah.
someone can fact check me on that if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure. I believe Alphen has been run. So, with that being said, I think something on my PC wants to open up right now when I. So once it stops doing that, I will go ahead and get started. Oh, there it is. Alright, I'm ready to get started. We all good?
We're ready when you are, Laurie.
Alright, well then we will be starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
This is a juggernaut of a run right here. The longest of the single stories by a while. This one has a lot going on. So getting started here, we have a lot of open scenes about Olberic, and then we're going to go over to the weapons shop. So each character, or each class rather, can hold only specific weapons. Olberic is a warrior, so his starting weapons are the spear and the sword. We buy one of each just to upgrade. However, the spear we buy is much better than the sword we buy. So I'm just going to be using the spear a lot in early game, because that's good. There's one thing I want to keep in mind here. I want to watch and see if I get a certain drop from this challenge right here. I got a Wind Soulstone. Okay, that is good luck right there, because that means I don't have to pick something up in the first dungeon, and I can do dungeon, I think, without multiple encounters, as opposed to you sometimes get that usually. So challenging, we picked up Olberic in Phil's Cyrus run, but never did anything with it. It just lets you fight NPCs. And since this is Olberic, we're going to be forced to do that a lot in the story. There are some good things that we can get with it. But for the most part, it just means that this is a long story. So, getting here, we have yet another fight, which is going to introduce us to our first warrior skill in just a second. That is a sword-based skill. So buying that sword wasn't completely useless, because we're going to use a little bit more than that spear. We're going to use Level Slash, which is just an AoE sword. I do not have much to talk about here, because a lot of this right now is just kind of going through the opening, so if you want to talk about, now that we've had, you know, a bid war like this over, if you want to talk about some bid war, that would be perfect.
Cool. Well, let's start off with some donations. I have $41 from Anonymous and $31 from Anonymous. Thank you so much for those donations. There were no comments, but that's all right. We have some incentives coming up, such as Dragon Quest 11, show Rab's secret item. And Dragon Quest 11, experience the world's best Puff Puff. Phil, have you experienced the world's best Puff? I'm going to take that as a yes.
I haven't.
Well, you can experience it right here on the RPG Valkyries channel. Currently, that bid war is that goal is at $25 out of 1,100. Goodness gracious, Kay, 111. So we're pretty close, not far away. And just to remind you all, you're watching RPGs We Love 3. We have some really cool prizes that you can check out and be in the running for even the smallest donations. Use the ! Prizes command in chat to see everything we have to offer. Today, our prizes include the fusion pairing, so the DBZ fusion pairing, a Child of Light print that I made myself, a Daily Perler surprise perler. So if you are interested in any of these, please definitely get your donations in.
So I did that fight that I did in the town, except not in the town, and now I'm in the Brigand's Den. I'm able to skip a item here. If you see that chest up there that has a fire, since I got that Wind Soulstone drop off of the challenge in the town, I'm able to just skip that. So
y'all probably remember Gaston from my run.
Oh yeah. We're actually gonna fight him this run because we don't really have anything to not fight him.
Not just gonna throw a couple soulstones and call it a day.
Yeah, I mean we're gonna throw soulstones, but we're not gonna, you know, do quite like you did.
I will not fail.
Okay. So yeah, the main thing here is that we got a Wind Soulstone drop from that challenge that I got. The chest that I skipped has a Fire Soulstone. You need one of those because the guys in the back are weak to both fire and wind. So I'm gonna break right there, and then the other Soulstone I got is Light, which will break here. I believe do a shield point to Gaston on top of killing these two. Okay, it doesn't do a shield point, but it's a free Soulstone. And I'm going to use Abide, which is another skill that we never got to show off. It ups my attack for a few turns. I think it's fairly self-explanatory why that's good.
Yeah, I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
Mm-hmm. So, using that, we can do more damage during this fight. This fight is very scary, but I'm going to heal, so it's less scary. And now it's free. I believe, even though it looks close, you never run risk of dying in this fight. Unless you get, like, crit a lot, maybe. Or I did get luck that could have been worse. I actually could have died here, probably. It's best not to think about it, because, hey, I didn't die. And there we go. We break him with a 4-time spear, and then we just kind of have to slap him once, and that's the fight. So, I'm gonna do something that some people might get mad at me for doing in a marathon. We have 31 job points after all the fights that we have done in this first chapter. I am going to teach a warrior skill that we used last run called 1,000 Spears. Yeah! This is not recommended in a marathon run. The thing with 1,000 Spears is that last run, Phil got an enemy called Kate, which is a very rare enemy when encountered. If you manage to kill it, and it likes to flee and be annoying like that, it will do, like, a lot of money and JP and stuff. Olberic is one of the 2 single-story routes that uses the Scholar's Shrine in order to get evasive maneuvers quicker. And so Kates are extremely helpful because we'll be able to do a lot more than just skiff Whistlewood by being able to skip having to prep for Whistlewood at all, because we can't scrutinize for the median soul stone like you would in every other story that uses Cyrus. In fact, fun fact, this is the only single story out of all 8 that doesn't get Cyrus at all.
Why is that?
It's just the routing. There are other characters that you get that are more. The Scholar Shrine being big, even with the Scholar Shrine, on its run, it's very good to get 2 Scholars because of the final boss. But not only does Olberic not have a run that doesn't really matter about, Olberic doesn't have a single boss that really matters about having 2 Scholars. But on top of that, Cyrus's chapter can be kind of annoying. Meanwhile, there's another character who's a character we're gonna get in this run. That has a much faster first chapter. Alright, well, Tressa Kate route can... I'm not gonna talk about that. While I'm in Rippletide, if I don't get a Kate, there's something I want to do here. Route that would be good.
Let us fight with honor.
Olberic sucks at running. The running mechanics shouldn't really change between characters, not my knowledge. However, some characters just will not run on the over sometimes, and some will. And sometimes it has to do with where you go, is what I've noticed. But for the most part, I'm not a fan of these characters that are kind of in, like, the bottom area of the world, because they tend to have a time. Alphen and Therian are 2 characters who have to run through the Boulder Fall area. That is my least favorite area to do without evasive maneuvers. So I'm still running here to the Scholar Shrine, which is up near Noble Court. These fish is what I want. Okay, so I got caught by surprise. That's fine. Oh god, I'm getting attacked a lot, though. So if I don't get a Kate, I still need to have a certain level in order to do a certain challenge. So I need to kill these fish to get to level 5. So as you see here, I'm going to kill these fish. That's going to put me to level 5 right there. There is a boy near the Scholar Shrine that I can challenge, and getting into a battle obviously resets your step encounter, but you can automatically flee from challenges for a free step counter reset. So being level 5 allows the Scholar Shrine trip to be a lot easier. And if you don't get a Kate, the best way to get level 5 is to get those fish. So I still have a little bit of time to get a Kate, and I'm really hoping for one. 1,000 Spears in a marathon setting, if you don't teach it, you can get evasive maneuvers here. However, if you get a Kate, you can't really kill it. In attempts of this category, you're usually gunning for a Kate. So... the fact that I haven't gotten one yet is not very cool.
It's a good day for battle.
Fortunately, I'm getting out of battles quickly. I'm surprised, like, enemy. I'm getting yellow. Almost 2 where we need to be. Probably, like, 2 more encounters we'll get before I have to say just no to the Kate. Ants! Yeah! I'm not gonna do anything about this.
Let us fight with honor. Now then.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I'm blaming Phil for taking my Kate.
To be fair, I've only ever seen... that's only the second time I've ever seen a Kate in a run.
Oh my god, I'm so mad! So, this is good, and I got the Kate, right? But it's in a... oh my god, I still killed it! Are you... okay.
Because I'm here. You're welcome.
Wow.
What? I'm sorry, I'm freaking out. But, like, okay, how do I explain this, right? So 1,000 Spears not only has a chance to not even hit 4 times, which is how many times you need to hit a Kate to kill it with 1,000 Spears, but on top of that, in a double encounter, you can't control what 1,000 Spears targets. So not only did I get 4 hits, which isn't even guaranteed, but all 4 hits I got hit the Kate, which is dumb lucky. I don't even want to go into how lucky I am right now.
Wow, though.
Oh my gosh.
It's a good day for battle.
Alright, so we can do fast stuff. Nice. Let's go. Are you kidding me? Oh. I'm having a good time. So, Scholar Shrine. Shrine of the Sage. We're gonna get the Scholar job here for Cyrus, and Cyrus, or not Cyrus, but Olberic, and Olberic is our main Scholar. Again, we're not getting Cyrus in this run, so this is gonna be our only Scholar. But we still want a Scholar, obviously, for evasive maneuvers, so, there we go. Great menuing right now. I'm still shaking a little bit from that. There we go. So, now I'm gonna go back to Cobblestone. And go to Sunshade, which you tagged, I believe, for like a second in Cyrus. We're actually gonna get the character there. So that's exciting. I also just realized I lied. I believe I said at some point that there were 2 characters in Olberic's route that aren't in Cyrus's. It's actually only 1. Oops. I was thinking of a different character. But I'm gonna grab that coin. Yeah, which is Primrose. We'll get to Primrose in a little bit, though, because we're actually not doing I'm tagging Sunshade to get Primrose later, obviously. But for now, we actually want to go south of Sunshade to Wellspring. Wellspring is where Olberic's Chapter 3 takes place, so it's very good to get there because... I don't think I have to explain. It's a very long, grueling screen, though. So it's seemingly difficult to not get while you're here. However, there's a neat little trick called a dying person. So this is the injured scout. Despite being in a higher level area, this guy is injured, so he's still a 1-star battle. Still, fight him at this low level, and then just leave. And we make it to the town of Wellspring for free. Which is nice. Now that I'm in Wellspring, there's one other thing I want to do, which is I want to go south of Wellspring to get a large soul stone that I can use. I just want to go right down here. There is this chest with a large soul stone. Once I get that, I can go to Rippletide and we can recruit Tressa again. If you didn't see the previous run, Hired Help is the best ability in this game. There's no way we're Tressa.
Yeah, it's super good. Being able to do 40 grand worth of damage for 60 grand worth of money, or for 30 grand worth of money rather, isn't bad.
Yeah.
Actually, I guess it would be 60 grand because it's 6k hits. So yeah. 24 grand worth of damage for 30 grand worth of money, not too bad.
Yeah. That's something I mentioned during the run, your run, is that Hired Help's damage was scripted. Skills like that lower physical defense of the enemy, armor corrosive, do increase that damage. That's the only thing you can do to change that damage value is the physical defense of the enemy. Also, I like how I got a Kate and I still can't leave this fight.
RNG.
Oh my goodness, Olberic is the worst character. I'm blaming Olberic.
But you can just spear it once and run.
I could have, but I got a Kate. I thought I would be able to. Again, the running mechanics in this game.
Mm.
I try to understand them, and I don't. Olberic is usually a slow character, I guess, because he's supposed to be a big, buff, strong guy. But even then, Tressa's supposed to be speedy.
So are you playing in English or Japanese?
I am playing in English. Most reps play in Japanese because the introductory dialogue when you use skills is shorter in Japanese compared to English. However, we're playing as Olberic, so we're going to hear Olberic talk a lot. And one quote Olberic says in Japanese is stupidly long.
Gotcha.
So
What I always thought was interesting about the differences is actually some of Mick's dialogue that passed. So as you're skipping cutscenes, you'll actually get a snippet of Mick's dialogue as you're skipping cutscenes, and it's him laughing. And in Japanese, he's just like or whatever, like a normal laugh. But in English, it's like
yeah. One of my favorite Japanese voice lines, speaking of which, is Hanet is a character that is played in Japanese, and there's this cutscene that's voice acted that's like where in English the guy's just kind of standard like, are you going after Kazanta's the name of the character that Hanet is trying to find. Meanwhile in Japanese the voice line is like this really weird, like, I don't even know how to describe the voice other than to do it. The guy just goes like, Zanta, and that's all you hear before you skip the cutscene.
nice.
And it's my favorite thing. It's my favorite thing about Hanet's.
Well, it's just like with Tressa, like that thing is just so crazy because it's like he sounds like he is literally insane laughing in English, but in Japanese he has a regular laugh.
I don't know. There's a lot of weird differences with that stuff, but I do love the voice acting of the game. It is amazing. So, when...
Oh, Laurie, I have a question for you.
What is the question?
Who is your favorite character?
Casually, Primrose.
Cool.
My
Why?
favorite single story is Ophelia's story. Why is Primrose my favorite?
Yeah.
I think Primrose is my favorite mostly because she has a dynamic where she has a goal in mind, and she's a very, like, strong-willed character, but she still, like, feels. She's not one of those, like, strong, silent types. She's a strong character who actively is able to, like, sympathize and relate and have their emotions come into play in their story. And I just think that's really cool. So there's Stoneguard. It's a great town. We don't have a chapter here like Cyrus does, however, it's just a town with a lot of gear in it, and Olberic being, his mechanic being fighting stuff, having gear is great. That's one of the reasons why Olberic is the longest runs, not only because you could do a lot of fights due to his character, but also because doing those fights means you need more gear, because we're underleveled. So, all that's good. And we are going to go to somewhere now that Phil did go to, though, however, speaking of science, which is we're going to go get the $50,000 in Shrine of the Runeblade.
Yes, because veteran soldiers cost a lot of money.
They do.
And money solves all problems.
It does.
Yes. If there's an incentive you don't, or you want to be met that's not currently met, you can use money to solve that problem.
Yes.
Indeed.
We talked about incentives earlier.
Speaking of incentives, I actually have a donation.
Okay.
I have $3 from Demarine, who says a nice thing about Kay. Wait, why are we saying nice things about me? We met in the most wildly fey way on an airplane to RPG Limit Break 19. She made that flight 1000% cheerier too. Thank you, Demarine. That is a true story. We were just sitting on the plane, Yagamoth and I, and Demarine walks past and just goes, "Hey, Kay," and just doesn't miss a beat. And then goes sit down in her seat. And I'm just like, what do you do?
I have a just kind of funny story. So this past SGDQ 2019 was actually actually my very first GDQ. So I was nervous, but I wanted to meet people. And on my way there, in the boarding line for my second flight, I heard some people talking about GDQ-related stuff, and I wanted to try and talk to them, but I was nervous. However, later that day, I was playing a game in the practice room, or not the practice room, but the casual room, and one of the people in that boarding line came up to me and was like, "Hey, were you playing Ace Attorney on the flight?"
Nice.
But this is Primrose, our third character we're getting in this run. Going back on topic to the topic of Octopath Traveler. She is great. Unfortunately, Dancer isn't too useful of a class to have in terms of like what it actually does. In single stories, that is. Dancer's a great class in full game categories, which unfortunately this is not one of. But the main thing about Primrose that's great is that her chapter is very short. As you saw, I picked her up, was right next to her dungeon. I'm going to finish her fight in 1 soul stone. So fun fact about this, actually. I'd like to share another little fun fact, is that chapter 1s I mentioned earlier scale based off of the level, scale level based off of how many party members you have. Helganish has the weakest health out of all chapter 1 bosses, regardless of like what the health scaling is. But in terms of the health scaling, he is the only boss where if Primrose is the 3rd character you are getting, he's the only boss that will die in 1 large soul stone without the assistance of a medium soul stone.
Weird.
He's
Is that
just
because
the
of his
weakest.
health?
Yeah, just because of his health.
Whoa.
That explains why she's 3rd in the alternate Cyrus route, too.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It saves a soul stone. You have to use a soul stone that he's weak against because you get a damage bonus if you use something that someone's weak against when they're not broken. That damage multiplier doesn't apply when the enemy's broken, I'd like to clarify. So like if you sword damage someone weak to sword when they're broken, it only does ×2 damage, not like 2 times 2.4. It's not that complicated, fortunately.
Can you explain to me what broken is?
So weaknesses have been a thing that have been abused throughout last run and throughout this run so far. A weakness doesn't necessarily break immediately, but it removes what's called a shield point. If you've been seeing that number in front of or like near an enemy, that is like inside a shield icon, that is its shield point number. And if its shield point number drops to 0, the enemy is broken. And that means the enemy can't move for the rest of that turn if it had moves that turn. It can't move at all next turn. And the whole time, for those 2 turns, it has half defense. So you can do twice as much damage.
Oh, cool.
The downside when it comes to breaking is that when an enemy is it will move first no matter what. There are some things you can do, like specific warrior skills or defending to move at the beginning of the turn, but you cannot do anything to like outturn a enemy that's about to unbreak. However, bosses sometimes have sequences that involve unbreaking, like they'll gain more when they unbreak, or they'll gain some sort of status. So we can use that to our advantage to be able to break enemies multiple times without having to, deal with any damage. There's kind of a lot going on with breaking.
Okay, I think I understood it's like a shield.
Yeah, it's a mechanic. It's a great mechanic. I like it a lot.
Yeah, the combat in this game is great.
Mm-hmm. Once I get to the next boss, I'm going to do a quick count. Therian is the last character we're getting in this story, which is another character we got during Phil's Cyrus run. The Thief is very good. Armor Corrosive is a great skill. So I think there are like 3 routes right now that don't get the Thief, or that don't get Therian, and 2 of them go to the Thief. So...
Oh, so that they can still get armor corrosive? Nice.
So that they can still get armor. corrosive. The only one to break that trend is Ophelia, who gets Primrose and then uses Primrose's path action, which I guess I'll go into even though we don't use it. Prim has a path action called Allure, which is a rogue, so it's a percentage-based one that allows you to get a enemy, or not an enemy, but an NPC to summon into battle. Primrose summons one, Primrose allures one in a 30% chance, and what she does with that is tries to get it to use an armor down move that has like a 33% chance of happening.
Why does everything you use Primrose for suck?
I know. So I was in the menu a little while. I just kind of, was counting stuff. This run is very Soulstone. Obviously, with needing a lot of gear and leveled Soulstones come very big into play. The number of large Soulstones you have can greatly change how stuff goes in the run, like if you need to get backups or not. So starting right now, where I have 2, because I'm about to start like the big gear up section of the run, I really want to start keeping track of every Soulstone I have, because I have in my notes I have little indicators of, hey, if you have this number of Soulstones, you need to do stuff. This is one run that I've memorized several Octopath routes. I think they're all gone from my memory at this point, but if there's one route I don't think I'll ever memorize, it's probably this one, just because backup stuff in this run can be crazy. But yeah, now that we have all 4 characters, we're gonna do the big gear. So I have to run around, do a lot of things. The first one is go to get the Hunter's Shrine, which is all the way back here. And I got an encounter. That's mine.
Isn't it the best when you get one a couple of steps before your screen transition?
I got an immediate flee. That's fine. Everything's
good,
fine. Yeah, I usually struggle a lot on that screen by getting encounters. Because I was so ready for it to not. Alright.
Hey, the Hunter Shrine.
Yep. Hunter skills are stupid useful in this route. Again, I'm gonna say the magic words. Lots of fights in this route. So that means lots of stuff we need to do to make sure we live. Soulstones too, but we need to do a lot of stuff to make sure we can fight all of them. And leg hold trap is going to be helpful. So now we're in Victor's Hollow, which is where Olberic's Chapter 2 and Tressa's Chapter 3, but we're not going to finish Tressa's Chapter 2, so we don't need to worry about it. This is a fighting tournament. This is a very well-received chapter from a lot of people that played this game casually, because instead of doing the basic scenario, the basic kind of setup of a dungeon and stuff like that, it's going to be a fighting arena. So it's a very different take on, the chapter style of the game, which is pretty cool. The word I'm trying to say is unique. It's unique in that it doesn't have a dungeon. It just has, an arena of boss fights that we do back in. There we go. I found my words. We'll get to that, though, later. For now... Oh, no. I just realized that this next section might go very... we have to go to Marcelin. Marcelin is not a town that is required in Olberic's story, however, it has some really good gear, and since we're going to Wellspring, it's not a, bad stop to take. However, while we're here, there's a nice little place called the, Marcelin Ruins? Catacombs. I was close. There are a few things in here that we're gonna want. Getting stuck on a rock is not one.
Really? Why not?
Because That's not fast. The Viper Dagger is, though.
Viper daggers are nice.
Yeah. And here I'm gonna do a glitch. I got it first try. So if you press the hold button at the right time when saying one of those mini bosses, it warps you up. It doesn't make sense, but it does. And it allows you to skip the mini bosses and get their treasure immediately. That's good, because that's a good treasure that I just got. I do want to grab this too, the Calming Stone. I mentioned the status effect in the Cyrus run that happened very slightly, that was being scared. That doesn't allow you to use BP. That's not a good one. So I get the Calming Stone to prevent that for the final boss, who can inflict terror. Alright, cool, I made it through that whole area first try. I was worried, because I forgot where the Calming Stone was for a good couple seconds. Olberic is not the only route that uses this glitch. Somebody in chat is asking about that. Therian also does that glitch in the same area. There is another area we'll do this glitch that only Olberic goes to in his single story. But he's not the only one to feature that glitch. So now we're gonna go here. There's also a character named All Jobs who... Yeah. Sure, we'll go with that.
A character named All Jobs, that's beautiful.
There's an All Jobs. Yeah, we'll go with that. You know what? Yeah, we'll just go with everything. If you say something, you better mean it from now on.
Golden Axe %. Here we go.
Oh no.
If you say something with a donation, it's even more true. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you hear that from K-Shura, it must be true.
Yeah. Why would K-Shura like it?
Indeed. Speaking of other things that are true, all of the donations we're receiving to PayPal are going to help us go to Limit Break, but all of the bits and sub money that you are giving us are going to take this, which is a fantabulous charity nonprofit organization, and our autumn marathon, Speedrun Ragnarok, also supports that. So yeah, if you guys are interested in take this, please check them out, because gaming is good.
And so this is a trick you'll have seen from my run as well that Laurie's performing.
Yeah, I don't want to get an encounter here, so I reset the steps, and I lost track of my soul stones, so I'm going to count those again in a second. I'm sorry.
I'll blame me. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I really should have been keeping track. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6. I should, write that number down somewhere. It's hard to keep track of numbers in my head while talking.
Writing is overrated anyway.
I hear you. That's the one thing about speedrunning is if I have to also be my own commentary, then my focus gets way out of whack.
I'm usually good at it if I'm playing games that don't require a lot of a brain. But you guys picked one of the harder categories, so not one of the harder, but one of the more lots of stuff to do categories. Which I appreciate. I actually really like the story. For this story took the lead, the winning story was Therian. And I'm very happy it's not Therian right now.
Can you give me the DL of why Therian's story is not good?
You know how a lot of the time we've been talking about percentage-based stuff, like 30% steals, or not 30% steals, but 30% scrutinizes and 30% allures?
Yeah.
Well, there's a steal like that in Therian's story, but let's just say, you know the number 30 that we've been talking about? What if you remove the 0?
Victory shall be won.
The Golden Axe.
Yeah. Therian is infamous for having a 3% steal at the very end of his run, which is why he's kind of infamous. He won SGDQ's bid war for that. Probably for that. Also, even once you get through that, the final boss is also a lot there. There is just really, really not fun in a marathon setting. But I thought it would be, you know, a bad idea to not care. So, I'm doing it. For the fans. 7. Very important. Small pomegranate. Also, is that an item we ever explained what it does in your run?
Which item?
Pomegranates?
I don't know if we ever really mentioned it, but yeah, basically it gives you an amount of your BP.
Yeah. So, like, that thing that we talked about, you have to, like, wait turns to get, yeah, you could just kind of get it item, which is very good for the run. One thing I'll mention about the run right now, actually, that I like mentioning in settings like this, is that, let's just say if this was a casual playthrough, this would be the world's worst resource management you've ever seen. But since we're doing this run with the knowledge that we're not going to use the file again after that we're doing, we can throw money at the wall. That is a horrible idea, and it'll be fine. So there I did a side quest where I KO'd an enemy immediately, and where am I going? Okay. Where am I going? I got lost there for a second. Because we can KO an enemy with a medium soul stone and 11,000. Oh! Cool. See ya.
It's a good day.
Nope.
The battle is truly joy.
So I got lost. There. I just kind of got confused for a second because, you know, it happens. The brain is not perfect.
Yeah, this game also has like because the combat is designed around the BP system. It has all sorts of ways for you to kind of manipulate them and stuff like that. You know, the pomegranate being one of them, where you know large ones give you four BP dots, and you know they get less as the smaller you get with them. But also, the merchant can gain an ability called Donate BP, where they can actually give a portion of their BP to somebody else. And that actually does come into play in the Cyrus route, where you get Primrose instead of Olberic a little bit.
Yeah. That also comes into play in, like, an Ophelia backup. And also, I think, maybe in Tressa, in one of the routes. It's a good skill. There's also a Starseer skill, which is something you really never see except for in this game's Super Boss category, where you fight the Super Boss. And even then you don't see this skill in particular, but there's a skill that not only deals more damage based on how much BP party has, also one that grants 2 BP per turn to a character. BP is big.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now that I'm done with that, I'm gonna do the screen right. Because that really didn't need to happen. Alright, there we go. Now we're in Riverford area. Which is an area. This is where Olberic's Chapter 4 takes place, and it's the only single story that goes this far. You have to cut through Orwell area, where Alphen has to go for Chapter 4 in order to get here. But Alphen never goes quite this steep. So now I have to remember which chests have what in them. Yay.
Hooray.
I'm going to take a detour over this way to go to the Shrine of the Warbringer, which is another one of the secret jobs for Master Class. We're not going to get it. But we are going to get money. We have a purple chest to open here, which is, I don't know if those are in Cyrus's route, and I don't know if I explained them. Every character has a special ability, so on top of their path action. For some characters, it directly involves their path action, like Haunett being able to capture monsters, or Primrose and Ophelia being able to summon NPCs into battle. But for some characters, it's different. And Therian has one called Pick Lock, which means you're only allowed to open purple chests if he's in your party. Eight, by the way. So now we're in Refuge Ruins, which is a side dungeon in the area of Riverford, where I'm going to do another home buffer glitch. First try it again. Let's go. And I'm going to pick up this shield right here. Alright. I want to buy one more thing in this. And then I'm going to do a bunch of menuing, and then we're finally going to do some... And 9. Okay, so let's see. We have a lot of jobs. I can't read. Okay, that should be everything I need. So now let's go to Victor's Hollow. And we'll finally get into Olberic's Chapter 2. I'm going to heal his SP because I don't trust that. And let's challenge some guy. So the thing right now is that the tournament has technically already started. However, there's a brief period of time in between the tournament and the championships of the top 8, where if somebody on the street challenges one of the top 8 contestants and wins that fight, they steal their spot in the top 8. So our goal is we're going to fight some, people out in the field in order to kind of get ourselves a reputation, so that one of those top 8 champions will challenge us. We're going to beat them in the fight and then steal their... I got a really good spear in one of those home buffer glitch extravaganzas, which allows me to use 1,000 spears with a lot of damage, as you just saw. So that's going to be my main strategy for these fights here. These 2 fights that I'm about to do. We kind of made Olberic really good. With just gear. And we also gave Therian a pretty...
Olberic, OP, please nerf.
Basically, we made him OP. We did this. Or I did this. You don't have to take responsibility if you don't want to.
Let us fight with honor. Victory shall be mine. Ha!
Okay, cool. That hit 4 times. But this is really good, because in the brink of things, what this allows us to do is this allows us to not have to use a lot of money in chapters themselves, so that we don't have to compensate for a bunch of extra fights existing by needing to spam a bunch more hired help. And we can cut down on hired help usage in boss fights, which is great. I'm gonna heal again. Anybody else need healing? Hi, I'm gonna just heal everybody. Okay. Hell, I'll run back through just to autosave again. There's a save point on every screen in this game, so the fact that I'm doing this just means that I know what I'm doing. Alright. For real this time, though. We can talk to Victorino first. Want to talk to him before we try and murder him. And then we can try and murder him. Victorino is one of the top 8 contestants right now, so...
Out of my way.
Yeah, that'll work. he's one of the top 8 contestants right now, so beating him mean that we get what is it? What am I trying to say? We get our spot in the top 8 tournament.
Because we kill him.
Well, we're not gonna kill him.
I am ready.
It's not quite that mean.
Stay strong.
Okay, I'm good I got that fight lucky. With Primrose not dying, not only did I get Merc thingies on early, back to 8 by the way. Not only did I get Mercenaries on early to up the defense, but also
I am ready.
words are hard. You know what else I did? Was I didn't have Primrose get hit. There we go. Primrose is a very weak physical defense character, as well as not having a lot of max HP. So that Force Shield we got in that one dungeon was specifically for her, because of just how weak she is at this point in time. So getting hit there can be dangerous. I'm also gonna recount. So we're gonna say yes to the tournament. For the tournament, we get healed after every fight, which is great. However, one of these fights is very bad. So let's do some menuing, and then I'm gonna save. Let me double check this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I'm right on 8. Skills. I want to teach some new skills here. We're going to learn Spearhead on Olberic. We're going to learn Sidestep on Tressa. And we're going to learn... Therian's just going to learn anything. Then support skills, we want to get Cover on Olberic, and then Tressa and Therian want Endless Items. That's right? Yeah, that's right. I'm nervous about this. I want to make sure everything goes right. Endless Items is going to be very important, because I've been keeping track of my Soulstone numbers very closely this whole time, and Endless Items lets us duplicate Soul. It's like a freebie in Mario RPG, where you have a... I don't know if it's the exact same number right here as in Mario RPG, but it's a 25% chance to get an item back when you use it, which is great. Hi, I can read this. Oh. That's good luck.
Yep, and Cyrus Primrose route requires you to get a couple... Well, I guess there's backups, but if you don't want to get the backups, it requires 2 Endless Items procs to happen.
Don't attack.
Always fun.
I have cover on. Tressa's nothing. Okay, everything's good. Yes! This is, like, a really dumb fight if it doesn't go well. I need to break Joshua here in the back. And then you are going to go in with hired help. And you are going to defend and use Spearhead. So Spearhead, I'm going to talk about that, because it's going to be good now. It's a very strong spear attack, which we have a very strong spear, so that's good. But on top of being a very strong spear attack, it also has the defend property, where it lets you move first in the next turn, or very early in the next turn at least. It tries to prioritize the warrior's movement, in this case Olberic's movement, in the next turn. So that can be very helpful. However, we mostly use it for the fact that it's a strong attack, and not for the fact that it lets you move first. Because we have a lot more tools at our disposal for that.
I will not fail.
Okay. I'm gonna get some defense up on these characters by using a and now we're gonna have some usage here. Alright, I got a Endless Items there. If you saw that twinkle around Therian, that is me getting the Endless Items, so... Down to 7. I want to see that twinkle all the time.
You like that?
Can't because I don't know what to do about that. Oh, you're moving first now. I have cover. Okay, we're good. You can't do anything to break this guy.
The battle is truly joy.
Hi. Okay, down to 6. Down to 5. I'm not getting very good luck on the endless right now.
Take this. Victory.
Okay, 4 hits, that's fine. And this one. There we go. I'm kind of nervous about this. We're good there. I'm gonna do a little bit more of some skill learning before I get into this last boss, the actual final boss of the chapter here. I need to teach Therian, Armor Corrosive, and Steel SP. Don't equip Incidentals. Okay, so it's time for the last fight of this chapter, finally. Gustav. He is a boy. And he is big. In conclusion, it's a big boy.
I just want to say, I see why you were nervous there. That Archibald fight, it has "Run Killer" in big red unfriendly letters on the notes.
Joshua is actually scarier, in my opinion. Or is that the notes you're looking at?
The notes I'm looking at. They also have that for Gustav as well.
Okay, fun. I think we're fine on the Gustav.
Have a taste of this.
As long as I don't leg hold the wrong person.
I'm ready.
He is the Lord's boy, indeed.
And I am not getting any of these endless items. So I taught Armor Corrosive. I can use that. I'm gonna try and break this turn. I have a guaranteed break. Because Thousand Spears will hit at least 3 times. It hit 4. Okay, 4 times. Primrose can use a couple axe attacks. And then Tressa can use Fireball in this case, because I have 1 shield left instead of 2. That'll save a tiny bit. Optimization. So, what is this? Spearhead. So, I taught another skill, which is Steel SP. Steel SP is a very simple, just double strike dagger hit. And one of the things we stole due to hired help, or due to home buffer glitch, was a very good dagger. So on top of Olberic kind of being able to do a bunch of damage with spear, Therian can also do a lot of damage thanks to the dagger. And that's chapter 2.
GG.
A lot of those nerves are gone now.
I like the discussion about the size of bosses in this game. To be fair, at least in the Cyrus story, at least Yvonne and Lucia are giant because they, like, use some arcane magic to make themselves bigger and stronger. But the other bosses in Cyrus story I have no excuse for. They're just big because boss.
It's just a stylistic choice that I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
Okay. So I picked out a new merchant for this story, actually. So I have that, Primrose on merchant now. And I don't have a hunter on me. That's intentional. We were able to teach Primrose endless items, so we have yet another character on them, which is good. And then I'm not done with the chapter yet. I have to finish the chapter. And then I have to go to Wellspring, which is where chapter 3 takes place. This is one of my favorite parts of the run, just kind of comedy-wise.
Yeah, don't forget you got to attempt to leave town to close out the chapter.
Yep. So right here we're looking for a guy named... So we're going to talk to these people about where Earhart is. We can't do anything with them before we talk to them and get their story out of the way. But the second person guarding a house, as soon as them, we can talk to them as if they're a normal NPC. NPCs standing in front of houses in this game is a standard mechanic. where you have to fight them with either Haunit or Olberic in order to get into their house if they have something good in their house. So I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna beat this guy up real quick. It's very easy because we're very powerful. And get this, right? Get this. I talk about good stuff being inside their house. This guy has $23,000 in purple chests. So by doing a easy 2-turn fight, we get $23,000.
I thought you were gonna say 23,000 worth in soul stones, and I was like, oh, okay.
No, you don't really sell soul stones. Although I think buying soul stones, that would be like 4 large soul stones, which would be tight. Now we have a horde of enemies. This part cannot go well. If it do, other times it can go well. We're gonna hope for that latter one. Let's see our turn order. Okay, we have 2 characters moving.
Will not fail.
I am ready.
I need to keep track of soul stone counts here, so
You like
please,
that?
not getting these eyes that I want them to.
Take this.
Fortunately, in between fights, if someone levels up, because there's actually fights here, they get restored, which is neat.
I will not fail.
Exactly, Paradox. Exactly. We're the good guys.
I am at 1 soul stone left.
No.
You
It's
like
fine.
that?
There are neat little things called
The
backups.
show is over.
Backups are nice.
Yeah. We can go to places now, such as to the Lizard Den. There's $6,000 on the way there.
What are lizards doing with $6,000?
Well, it's on the road. They might have
Okay.
killed somebody who dropped a giant chest worth of $6,000. Does everybody have, like, the health and stuff that they need? Okay, good. This is not a part I like to mess up, but I think we're good to go. Everything looks right. That's my status report.
Thank you, Agent Laurie.
I will not
So, this is the Lizard Man, Chief. He's not that bad.
I see.
I am ready.
As long as I, like, do the fight right. It's not that bad, that is. He locks some of his weaknesses when the ads spawn. Fortunately, the 2 he doesn't lock are the ones that we have very easy access to, so we abuse that. We also break him with vets, because that's just what you do.
Come and fight.
$30,000 break, I like it.
Yeah.
No. I see.
What to do? Let me help.
And then we do our normal Spearhead, Steel SP veterans, and this boss will go down.
Down
I have
there.
to use the right skill, though. I almost didn't do that.
Please use the right skill.
I did.
Good.
Easy. Easy fight.
Easy every time.
Alright, now I have to do something that I have embarrassingly forgotten to do before.
You got more than
I don't want to talk about it. I have to make Olberic a merchant. I said it out loud. Sidestep and hired help, the usual. And I'm gonna equip endless items, so now all my characters should have endless. Oh, I unequipped Triss's endless items at some point. That explains a lot. And Primrose is a hunter again. So Olberic's a merchant. Yes. Get off the wall. Get off the wall. All right, now it's fight time. So, since we're a merchant, we're going to use hired help. That's the strat. Mercenaries are very useful here because of their property to add physical defense to your character. That's about it.
Yeah, that's a good move. We use that for the Lucia fight in Cyrus as well.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
used
think we
in
talked about
many
it, but it
fights.
got used.
I think I should have mentioned it. It's used in many fights, in fact. It's a very useful thing.
Now then, out of my way.
Alright. So. Nope. Okay. Better. No!
You're watching
I-
RPGs We Love 3, where things go good sometimes and wrong sometimes.
So I accidentally used the mercenaries instead of the veterans, so I'm gonna have to do that lizard again. I hope you like that lizard.
I like the
We
lizard.
loved it.
Alright, cool.
Have I failed?
I have embarrassingly failed that fight in many ways. That is not one of the ways. Also, I'm going to re-equip.
It's amazing how our runs have mirrored. We both got Kate's, and now we both messed up a boss fight.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna like throw shade at myself though. You messed up a fight after me. A scripted boss. That you shouldn't lose that, and I lose it all the time.
I mean, to be fair, once you get past turn 1 on Yvonne, you shouldn't lose it either. I made a really dumb mistake.
I guess. I'm trying to give you credit here.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
Listen, I'm still on pace for underestimate, I think. I think.
I will not fail.
What to do?
We'll do fine!
Seeing the lizards, though, I think maybe I take back what I said about the money thing. They look like they might be intelligent enough to have some sort of complex economy.
Okay, so I armor corrosive the wrong list.
The battle is truly
I am ready.
This is fine.
Come and fight.
He's gonna super die though now.
No, he's not. He's not gonna die.
No, I meant the one you mistakenly
My turn now.
corrosive. He's gonna turbo die.
Yeah, but that doesn't help me.
No.
It really doesn't help me in the slightest. Okay, here's the strat. Ready?
I'm ready.
I'm gonna do the fight like normal and see if he dies anyways.
I am ready.
Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use... What am I gonna do? Yeah, let's just do the fight and see if he dies. No, he didn't die. Okay. So, here's what I'm gonna do. Right? I'm gonna revive Olberic. This guy is weak to stuff that all my characters have. For the most part. So I can probably break him before he moves again. Like this. I can be like, Lightning Blast. And I kind of wish Primrose was moving earlier. That's fine. Therian, I need you right now.
I am ready.
Yeah, use Moonlight Waltz. That's better than nothing. Yeah, use Steel SP again. Easy game! Oh, no, I shouldn't say that.
That's
Heck,
okay, I totally said it on accident too. That's alright.
heck. This is a heckin' easy game.
Hey, you pulled that one out though.
Listen, I'm very emotional right now.
Listen, this whole run has been a roller coaster.
It has...
Are we talking about ducks again? Yes, yes we are. Laurie just said honk, no big deal.
What the honk?
A honk.
Okay, so I'm gonna save before the scripted fight, just in case the fight that shouldn't go wrong goes wrong. I've never had it go wrong before, but you know, marathon safety.
It's okay. I literally had something never go wrong that I've never seen before happen in my run as well.
I got some encounters in weird spots I'd never got them before, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So Mercy,
I will not fail.
they're great when you need them. And I need them right now. Okay, I don't need them anymore.
Now then. Now then.
So you want to know a fun fact? This guy has like 13,737 health, I think.
That's a little bit.
The battle
I have that number memorized because when I did this casually, I struggled with this fight a lot. So I memorized his health number and started using a calculator to track his health.
That's commitment.
So that fight goes well. All the time. All of it. Don't question me. I'm very fragile. I'm at low soul stone count, so I need to get extra. I'm gonna do this one. Because I didn't... I also don't want to go to Quicksand Cave right now. If I don't have to. I'll save that for later. There's more Soulstone stuff coming up. Don't worry, it's fine. I know exactly what's going on. So this is the Forest of No Return. This is where you usually go if you don't get any in Olberic Chapter 2. I got one, so I decided it would be fine if I skipped it. It wasn't fine. Okay, now we're gonna go to River first, because that's where the fourth one takes place.
Well, hold up. You just went in the Forest of No Return, though, so you don't get to go out.
Yeah, we can't return.
Okay, so... Listen.
This is the forest of no return.
Here's the thing, right? The Forest of No Return is named after the Devourer of Man, who devours, who's supposed, here's the legend is that he is supposed to devour everyone who goes inside the Forest of No Return. But we went in there and he didn't eat me, so it's fair game. It's his problem, it's not mine.
I mean, I guess.
I'm not taking responsibility, are you kidding me? That'd be crazy. No, I'm not at full health. Good thing I checked my health. This is, a guy, you know that guy that's...
The man in the red hat.
Yeah, here's a guy that's stronger than him, and his name is the man in the red hat. He's a man, and he's in a red hat.
That means he's strong.
Well,
Yeah.
fight with honor.
so is this some sort of like alternate universe where there's a Clifford the Big Yellow Dog instead?
I don't have an answer to that.
I mean, I'm just asking the tough questions here.
The battle is truly joy.
Important questions.
Victory. Now, my blade is unbending.
Alright, it's time to go on a journey, because I still am not getting endless items.
Oh, endless items.
It's because you left the Forest of No Return.
You're right.
They're not returning your items now.
Well, they haven't been returning my items. Okay, so I am going to prepare, and by prepare, I mean I'm going to go back to Sunshade so I can cave and Wellspring. I like triple-checked endless items.
Forest of No refunds, nice. That's where you get the veteran soldiers from, is the Forest of No refunds. But they're worth every penny, so it's alright.
So this is Quicksand Caves. It's a cave with quicksand in it. You know what else is in it, though? A large soul stone. Okay, we're gonna go back to Riverford and say we're ready.
I feel like, you know, Quicksand Cave is like the only accurate place we've been to in the last 10 minutes.
Are you saying that calling this town by the word is not?
I don't see any fords, so, you know.
What's a ford? Please. Like cars?
Sure.
The car? Okay.
Sure.
There are no cars in the Octopath universe. You know what? You're right.
Yep.
Well played. So welcome to Hidden Path. It's a path and it's hidden. That's accurate, right?
I mean, I guess so, yeah. Let that
Sure.
one slide.
So you usually don't need to save or load here. However, I am a nice... So I'm going to save or load here. And then I'm going to go down here. And get a soul stone. And now I'm no longer short on... Oh, I need to get an item here. I went back in. Nope, I didn't. Okay, that's a cutscene that exists if you try to go back in when you can't.
Uh-oh.
It's fine. Everything's fine. I need to get this item in here to sell it for money, and then... So, after that whole ordeal of this run, because you get to use all these cool strategies that involve not spamming hired help and instead using it somewhat creatively, you know what I'm going to do?
Spam hired help instead of using it creatively.
I am going to unequip my characters entirely so that I can get all their equipment, sell all their equipment for hired help so I can spam it in the last boss.
I thought you were gonna go to the Forest of No Return and stay there.
No, I can't do that. I'm busy. I have a final boss to kill.
As long as we return to the Forest of No Return.
But it's no return, so you can't return there, right?
Yeah, that's what it means.
Oh dear, I'm so confused.
That's what we've gotten wrong the whole time.
That's
see.
it. I figured it out. I got the secret.
Yep.
Thank you.
You can leave it, but you can only go there once, and then you can't go back.
And for some people, that means that they get trapped in, but that it wasn't for me.
So that's what happens is you, since you're never allowed to go back again, you have to make sure everything you want to get out of it you have, and then people run into that
thing.
That devourer of man or whatever, and then he eats them.
That's their problem, though.
Yeah.
So, like, hi, am I gonna get an eye for money? Did I get an eye for money? Tressa stole money. I have money. Yeah, money.
Trust is like, ooh, what a shame! Somebody dropped their $20. I will keep it.
Yeah.
This is spotted 1,824.
Yeah, who just drops like $2,000? Like, there's at one point in my run where like she picked up 5,400 or something, and it's like
That's their
who drops that
problem.
much money and doesn't realize it.
All right, we're good. Welcome to, like, we can't lose this fight at this point, except for the fact that I don't think I did it right. Everything's fine! Yeah! Everything's fine, actually. I'm right. So I'm right.
Use this.
It feels great to be right.
It would feel bad if you were left.
Is
I
he?
don't know what...
Is this guy riding his horse in a mansion?
Yep.
Yes.
At first I thought like the horse was part of him, like he was like some weird like
Fortune favors the
dual
Centaur?
centaur thing. Yeah, with two heads. One
No,
human
he's
head
just
and
riding
horse
his
head.
horse.
Like, I understand that rich people can be eccentric, but riding your house through or your horse through your house is kind of like really up there.
I feel like riding your house through your horse would be very impressive.
That would be,
I see.
Yeah, I do too.
especially if your horse survived it.
Is unbending.
So, hi, what am I doing? I'm leg hold trap. There we go. So this is a nice little strategy. This game is scripted. So he is going to up his shields, and then he is going to, Werner is. Oh, by the way, Werner is like a villain, by the way. We use sidestep so that these two will live, and then leg hold trap so that in this next turn, he'll move last. And so we're just gonna use, the merchants to revive everybody, and then we'll just have a whole turn to ourselves.
Battle is truly joy.
That's nice. Because I don't like this. We'll just do it.
Let me help.
Oh no, I am dead. It's dead, I think. Everything is over. Unless... I saved it. I'm a gamer.
Take this.
Woo! Gamer power.
Is unbending.
This is the horse from the Live Alive run.
Is it?
Apparently.
I'm ready.
Well,
Time for that pro gamer move.
no, now it's time for the moment of truth to see if I actually get the kill. Because I might not.
You got this.
Moment of truth.
Take this.
Moment of truth. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Yes!
Woo!
Alright, time's gonna be when I skip these cutscenes. When I skip one of the cutscenes, that is. I think there's 3 cutscenes here. No, there's 2, and time! Underestimate.
All right.
I
GG.
don't know how I managed that. That was an Olberic run.
Nice.
Did the math.
Did
Oh, yeah.
the math. Listen, she had this down to the 2 seconds and how many tenths of a second? Whatever. That it, Yep.
1.71.
Thanks.
That's how many seconds I had to spare.
1.71 seconds.
Yeah, so that's the end of our little Octo. That was a great 2 runs. Shoutouts to Phil, obviously, for the Cyrus run and also helping on commentary here.
Yeah,
I'd like to shout out every Octopath runner. I say I love running this game, and on top of loving the game itself, the community has been some of my best friends for literally like a year now. So, thank you everybody there. On this category, I'd like to D2 Kemps in particular, not thank, but more shout out for D2 Kemps for this is one of the least popular characters to be run, and Kemps is super dedicated to this character. It's crazy. So, big shoutouts there. Other than that, I don't know how much else I have to say, other than, I guess, I'd like to give a shoutouts to Sanjin for putting the money towards Olberic in the first place. Because something tells me a run like that wouldn't have happened with any other character. And I guess the only other thing I have to say is see you on Friday, because I have a run on Friday as well.
Awesome. Good luck on that run. I want to give a quick shout out to XenoSync, who, if he didn't make those detailed notes for Cyrus, I probably wouldn't have been able to run this category here tonight.
Speaking of notes, though, if you want to learn this game yourself, there's like a wiki page for speedrun in this game. A whole wiki page for like a bunch of different routes for everything. So, if you want to learn this game, any category, it is very easy. So, if you're interested, and not only that, everyone's willing to help. So, saying that, I am out of things to say. Thank you for having me, and goodbye.
Thank you very much. And as she mentioned, we will see Laurie again on Friday, so definitely come in for that. That's going to be Undertale. Up next, we have the Loom run with Scala. And after that, we will be having the Final Fantasy PSP run with Leggy. So definitely, please stick in for that. We have some really cool prizes that you can win today. Today we have the Dragon Ball Z Fusion painting. We have the Child of Light print, and we also have a Daily Perler surprise prize. Surprise prize, which will be either made by Sparkover or Kinda Nerdy Housewife. So if you donate today, you can get in the running for one of those. For the PSP Final Fantasy run, we have some naming incentives that you can get in for, as well as Dragon Quest XI has several incentives, one of which does not have any money towards it. You can choose to pick the voice language, which is a rolling incentive, meaning it will change periodically throughout the run. You can choose English or Japanese. At this time, there is no money towards those, so definitely if you have a preference, you can get your money in for that. Thank you everyone so much, and we'll be switching restreamers here in a moment, but just hang tight.